We're live! Yay! Woo! Best.
Oh wait, we mute the sound.
Okay, stream manager.
Okay, I can see myself in 180p. How's the quality doing this week?
I think the overall stream quality is good. I mean, you are always pixelated. That's just you.
That's just my real life version. But the sound, it seems pretty stable.
Wow, but this is
No,
there's like a whole new interface now with Twitch. I mean, I clicked on it. It's pretty cool. I have some quick buttons here. Rate channel, run 60-second ad break. Oh, we can make money. 60-second ad break.
60-second ad break. Let's do it. We can earn from 14 viewers. Get rich.
That's great. How's the chat doing? How's everyone doing?
How's everybody doing?
Jeroen,
what am I using to record myself? A potato. A literal potato. Type C potato.
Type C potato. I mean, it doesn't matter what webcam we give you. It's always.
Yeah. It's just a connection. I have a curse, which is bad internet connection.
Yes.
And it's always. You know what happened today? I was earlier this week. I was working on trying to bypass the China firewall for our utility updates in China, and today and yesterday, all of a sudden the connection was a lot slower, and we looked at like a router firewall today, and there were like these weird all these weird messages, and they had all these weird domains and everything. So we're kind of suspecting that maybe the Chinese government is onto us.
That's pretty insane. Jeroen, are you on the floor? I think Jeroen is on the floor. He's always relaxing, right?
I'm on the floor. No, I'm actually sitting on my bed, and this is a curtain. Yeah, but I'm sitting pretty low.
Oh, I like it.
Beautiful. I wish I had Jimi Hendrix in the background. Or Prince. Is it Prince or Jimi Hendrix?
It's Jimmy.
Jimmy, right?
It's Jimmy, our friend.
Oh, the one and only. Jimmy the man.
It's kind of weird. I don't really like the new dashboard, to be honest. Activity feed will show new follows, new subs. Cheers.
It's been doing like I do like the general layout of Twitch. Yeah, but everybody's leaving for Mixer nowadays.
Oh,
hey, Tom, what's up?
We should also leave for Mixer.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we'll make an announcement video, just like Stroud.
But remember that I think a few years ago, I think you guys talked with the guys from Mixer, right? Was it from Microsoft or Xbox team?
Yeah.
And they said like, hey, you guys should stream on Mixer. And I'm like, nah, that's way too low key.
Yeah, 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at that moment, it was like, well, it's still very, very, very small if you look at the total amount of viewers. So if you look at Mixer right now, they put like the top streamers on the front page, and there's like Shroud with his 15,000 views, which isn't. I think at Twitch you got a lot more, but then the other ones are like max 600-700.
Interesting.
And it's not even that many. So it's a pretty Twitch is pretty hard to beat, but then it's good to have different platforms, I guess. Stream on Twitch and Mixer. Yeah.
I think it's not even too difficult to set it up, right? To stream it to multiple things.
Yeah, but I think the problem with restreaming is just you get we already don't really have a big chat, so it's already nice to have some engagement, and then you have to split that within. Let's say you also do YouTube and Mixer or something like that. So it doesn't really. I think for us it doesn't really make sense. Yeah, the comments will be factored. Yeah, exactly.
You guys should have a month to affiliate. Where do you 8 streams in 30 days? I think we can already apply for the affiliate program. Well, that's at least the message I got. And like the requirement is like the same as Empty Inside says, like 8 streams or 7 streams in 30 days. We never do like so many streams. We do like 2 at a max, maybe 3 if the stars align in 30 days. But so it's kind of weird but I think we're cool guys here.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know. I think the requirements are pretty low. Because if we do that, then people can also subscribe, right?
And then you use the money for what?
We can get our own custom emotes. I think that's nice. I mean, you can at least use Wooting emotes in different chats, maybe.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh wait, can you? Yeah, you can, of course.
I mean,
yeah.
Maybe we should just stream more often. I think it's also fun to just see us work during the day. Like have a webcam there in the corner and Calder can keep an eye on us, how we're working. That's also a good thing.
I thought that's what he's already doing. He already has secret webcams in every corner. He has like this whole setup. He's always complaining about his multiple screens, right? But it's all a big lie.
It's a lie.
Because at home he just has this whole like 8-screen setup to keep an eye on everything and everyone.
But Jeroen, how are you doing? I think it's been a while since you were actually in the live stream.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks ago I could not join because I don't remember. And then before it, we were in China. Mm-hmm. And then I did not join because Kevin and Calder were joining, and I think I had to do some last moment software stuff there at night because it's always so crazy. So we don't really have the time to do it because during the day we're just visiting factories, and then during the night we try to do like any kind of work that you need to prepare or something like that. Mm-hmm. And, but I think it's maybe before it was also you. I'm not sure.
It's been a while, at least.
But it's been doing pretty good. I'm moving back to the Netherlands.
Nice.
Next month I'll be back in my home country, which will be pretty nice. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that one, and it also means that we can work together again, which is very nice.
Yeah, well, at least be in the same time zone and see each other in real life. That's something.
In real life. Yeah, that's very nice. I think the time zone especially is always killing. Yeah, the time zone is it really sucks. But that especially right now, because now you have the what's it called winter time,
daylight saving.
Daylight saving time. Yeah. So now we're 7 hours different. But around here they don't do daylight saving time because the time never changes anyway. It's like we're right on top of the equator, so there's no seasons here, which is very, very strange. Yeah, today I actually saw Christmas decorations in Singapore.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's also starting here in the Netherlands now. I mean, November has started, so all the Christmas spray can go on.
Since the glass stuff is in the shops already, I assume.
Okay, but today's stream, what are we going to talk about?
Okay. Today's stream, we're going to talk about remapping.
Remapping.
And remapping is also it's kind of a term we're trying to get but it's basically full programmability for the keyboard.
Wow.
That's what we're going to talk about today. Wow. And then people must be thinking, whoa, they've been talking about this for a very long time.
Finally.
But no, this time we're I think we got like I think we've been thinking about it for a very long time, this whole full programmability, because I think when we have an idea like this, it just has to make sense first before we actually do it. Mm-hmm. And I think our experience with full programmability has just been it just kind of sucks to do it and use it. And if you see it in most like software, how people do it is they either have like a big drop down box, or there's a lot of clicking to get it right, and it doesn't really it just kind of sucks. And so I think 2 or 3 months ago we're still talking about it, and I think we finally got an idea of like, oh, this is how we can actually implement it, and I think it will be a really cool way to do so. So that's I think that's something we're going to talk about today, and try to uncover it piece by piece and get you guys feedback on like our initial design, because right now we're just we're just working on the design now and laying down the the groundwork and the firmware and the utility to get it running. So we're still like in a pretty early phase, but I hope our goal is to have like the first alpha release at the end of this month.
Wow, that's fast.
Wow, that is fast. Yeah.
I mean, full programmability is a feature I'm also looking forward to, even though I'm probably not the user that will use it regularly. But it's nice to just swap some keys around in a very efficient way without like using the DKS hack. That's also a possibility, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think the main thing is not necessarily it's not like that everybody can change their layer all of a sudden and you're gonna randomly put your keys somewhere, right? But it's more like, you can actually decide if you what you want to do with your Windows key or with your modifier keys, and especially with your second layer. So we're also with your function layer keys. So right now we do have the event key, and we do use it for a few keys on the keyboard, but then it's not really what do you call it? Advanced. No, mm-hmm. It's hard to really make it customizable. Yeah. Yeah. And so I think for a lot of users, especially Wooting 1 users, if you don't have a numpad, then having this full extra programmable layer will be, I think that will be very, very cool to have.
Yeah, for sure.
So what do you think is a good approach to talk about it?
What a good approach, I think. Just show and tell. Show, don't tell. Show and tell. Show and tell. Yes. So I will now show you guys some how would you call it? Mockups and design ideas we have.
For mapping all keys as a power button. Yeah, that's also. I mean that's one of the things we can talk about later. That's also why I wanted to bring it up in chat, because I think power button. No, power button is a literal shutdown. I mean it's a functionality we can do, but then it's also like, is that a good idea, or do we want to add those kind of things? But that's something we can discuss later. Okay.
True.
I see you have.
Yes, I have to open the beast. So, first thing that some users will probably notice is like, hey, full programmability will be in the sidebar. Finally, the soon icon will disappear.
Yeah.
That's been there since the beginning. Yeah. So, the idea is that for the full programmability, we keep a sort of similar framework on how you now still also use the utility where you can set up your RGB lighting or DKS or your rebindings, key mapping.
Yeah.
And we ditched the sidebar here on the left side where you normally have the profiles, so you have a nice big overview of your keyboard. And I'm sort of lazy, but imagine like this is a whole full keyboard with a QWERTY layout or a QWERTY, whatever.
Spoon, this is just our design. We're planning to put it in alpha by the end of the month. Yeah. We're still working on it.
And the whole idea is that here we have a sector where you have like, let's say your alpha characters or your general characters, your letters, your A till C, and some other little symbols that are most commonly used. And the cool thing here is that you can drag a key from here, drag it on your keyboard, drop it, and then boom, you have that key on your keyboard. In the keyboard itself, you can also swap around your keys. So let's say you want to have a quick change where you swap around your escape key and control key, or you simply pull up your escape key, drag it to your control point, and those two keys will swap position, and then you just save to keyboard, and now your control key and escape key is swapped over. We plan to sort of categorize the different categories of keyboard characters together. So you would have like the letters, the numbers, the special characters, the modifier, the media keys. Even we'll probably add even these weird keys where you can open your calculator or restart your computer and whatever Windows has to offer.
Yeah.
And
and also our custom functions like select, unlock profile 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Increase and decrease your brightness, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think this is a little bit bad example, but here we also have a sort of toggle where you can toggle between your main layer and your function layer, where you can program both layers. So let's say you want to keep your main layer just as a normal QWERTY keyboard, but your whole function layer you want to change it to, let's say, a Dvorek layout or a Codeman layout, or just add like all these crazy functions towards it. And another cool thing, especially what will be beneficial for Wooting 1 users, is that they can, for example, on the function layer, lay out the whole numpad here in this area. So if they want to use the numpad, they can just press function, use the numbers, or turn on the function toggles where it's swapped around and they can use it actively. So that's pretty cool.
Get this question real quick.
Yeah.
Buffalo asks, one thing to note that on high repeat rates, some of the current options don't work well. So if you remap, say, A to K, you will still get instances of K in there. Just the thing to keep in mind when making this. So I'm not really sure. Are you referring to how we do it in DKS right now? Because this will be like a completely different system. So it will be like proper remappings. So if you say if you remap an A to a K, for example, there will be no more. Okay, so there will be no more reference to the original A there. So I don't really know what are you referring to with the high repeat rate. Oh, it's with a different program or something? Okay. But this is like, so the remapping here will be put on your keyboard. So we don't like intercept something from the keyboard and remap or something like that. No, it's like, okay, if you change the A to a K, then your keyboard, when you press that key, will send the K.
Yep.
Calculator is very much needed. Seriously, it's like the only special key I always use. I guess the calculator can be pretty useful. But those are the kind of things we can more easily add now.
Yeah, and you can add them to your keyboard, and you can even go to the more obscure keys that nobody ever uses, but some people probably has a use for it. Because like I always thought it was like a F1 to F20, but it appears that there's like an F1 all the way to F24. I mean, who doesn't want 24 function keys? So this is.
I think there's this one keyboard that has like two layers of or two rows of F keys. Let's say it's like a pretty old one.
That's pretty sick, yeah. And another cool thing about why this makes it very user friendly, besides the drag and drop things. Let's say you want to clear a key, you can just pick up the cue, drag it away from your keyboard, let it go, and then poof, the cue is away from your keyboard, and then you have a blank key there. Not sure in what case you would really want to have blank keys on your keyboard, but the possibility is there. Another cool feature, well, I think it's a cool feature, is the storage/quick access area. And this is a place where you can temporarily, just make your own collection of keys. So you can drag keys towards there and have them in quick access when you're editing your whole keyboard or your whole layout together.
Yeah.
So you don't lose keys, for example. You don't have to search them here through all your characters.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the main, I like the storage or the quick layout idea a lot. Because at the end there's going to be probably about 200 different possibility to map. Because so right now we're at 130, and I think and that's only the basic ones that we are already on the keyboard right now. So it's we're just gonna keep adding to that with like let's say the crazy keys and maybe more function keys in the future. So you definitely want to have this quick access to, so that you don't have to go through the list every single time.
Yeah. And what Jeroen said, the thing what we really focused on here is making it very user friendly and making it efficient to change your whole keyboard layout. Because with all the tools out there, because there are tools out there where you can change your layout and it will hack into your Windows registry, this will all be saved on the keyboards. That's also pretty neat. The thing with those softwares is like the interfaces are ugly, unuser friendly, and you always have to search all between drop downs, or you need to make like 20 clicks to even change a single key, or some of them are just line based where you have to enter specific HID codes and change them for other HID codes, and this is just a very playful way, and I'm not sure what the English word is, but Jeroen always calls like the blockados.
Like
building blocks, like whatever.
Building blocks,
And
should be just a fun building block together. Eric, can you turn up your microphone a little bit? Espresso.
Oh, turn on my microphone.
Turn it out. Are the custom layouts tied to the profiles? So we'll only have one mapping profile, let's say, and the main reason we do that is just because of memory limitations. Because we need to save two mappings basically, because we have two layers, so the main layer and the function layer, and we don't have space for remapping for every profile. So we just have one mapping that will just be your digital mapping, let's say.
Yeah. And another thing that we will always include, well, at least here, are like different presets. So for example, we have Dvorak, Alien, Lead Speaker, like this is just a mock-up, but we have a whole list of Coleman, and I don't even know what all the names were, but a lot of layouts people use on keyboards for typing more efficiently or in a different way. And we will offer a wide variety of different presets. So if any of you guys have feedback or ideas for cool layouts or want to see certain presets, now's the time to let us know and we can implement them. And another thing is we would for sharing these profiles or these presets, so let's say you made like a very sick layout that's the best for typing that nobody ever made, you want to share it with other Wooting users, and we will do a similar thing as how we would handle the profile input codes now, but instead of like having to copy and paste the code, you can just click on a hyperlink. So it would make a hyperlink for all the presets you've made, so somebody just has to click on it and it already will automatically loads into your utility, which is pretty cool. And if this just works on this scale pretty nicely, later on we will also redo the whole profile codes then for the analog profiles, that instead of using a code you can use a hyperlink to link it towards the utility. That's also something I'm very excited for. It just makes it just that tiny bit easier to share a profile with somebody else instead of copy pasting it, just having one single click.
Yeah, and I think we can also be more, let's say, smart about the way we structure it, so that the keys the link that you share is like a bit less cryptic. Like it's not this huge code or something. We can just be just how you can just have like let's say boot development boot column / and then you'll have like maybe your profile name, and then we can do like a similar system like I think like Battle.net and Discord uses, where you just have your name and then a hashtag with a 4-digit number, something like that.
Yeah, so you can have like Wood Overwatch hashtag whatever 6531.
Yeah. Let's see. Could it be done later when you figure out a way to handle profiles on client? Yes. Yeah, I could. It's just that if you want to do it client side, you will need to intercept your keywords output. So it might be just like how what is this Balfour was talking about with auto hotkey, that you might get some like weird artifacts here and there if you need to intercept it, or we need to do like intercept all output from the keyword, which is also possible, I guess.
And then we can track your passcodes and whatever.
That's also true. Yeah. That's also. I mean, theoretically, well, yeah. How would it work space-wise with DKS? Will there be any limitations there? So the memory mapping, let's say, for DKS is already set, so there will not be any interference in that or limitations there. So they'll just both be able to coexist. And the reason for that is actually because even though our keyboard memory is pretty much almost full at this moment, we already secretly have 2 layers programmed in your keyboard. It's actually what we have been using all along to decide which keys to send to the computer when you press the key. So we've been saving it on your keyboard all along. It's just that we've never made like the tools to properly change it. This is mostly because we never really had a good idea until so far, like how to do it in a good way.
Yeah, and I think besides that, let's be honest, it will be a niche functionality within the utility, because I don't think most people besides like swapping around your escape and control key, that's something obvious and more people do. Like changing your whole layout, I don't think a lot of people will actually do it because let's say you want to swap to a whole Dvorak layout. The cool thing is if you also have the keycaps for it, and because else it'll also be a little bit confusing. And so we always had the idea that we wanted a key mapping or remapping in the utility and for Wooting keyboards. We just never had the time to implement it, and we never had like a nice, decent design or a good way to do it. And it just took us a long time to figure out what the best solution is. Even though now, looking at this, the solution feels and it looks really simple. I also think UX-wise, it's a very interesting case, and I think the most interesting case I've worked on within the utility, because there's some counterintuitives here, right, what we talked about before. So let's say you have like your modifier keys here. Imagine these are your modifier keys instead of all these A's and whatever. Modifier keys have a different shape. So you have like the caps lock that's a bit wider, shift is even more wider, spacebar is not really a modifier key, but it's like super wide. If you want to find these keys fast, it's the best to retain their size. But then if you want to drag them on the keyboard and you want to, let's say, put spacebar on your W key, then it sort of feels weird why it shrinks down, and if you, let's say, make it wide, it's even more weirder, and vice versa is the same thing. It's really interesting how like these things that sound really logical are actually very counterintuitive from a UX point of view.
We really have to think. We already talked a lot about like how to handle different cases, and also like what to do with the text, like the paste down and the back. I think what you said is that backspace is the longest.
Yeah, well, that's
text on the keyboard.
That's the one we do, and we don't shorten it. So let's say print screen, we make it but backspace we keep it like in backspace, also in utility. And I think it's neat to the way we're gonna do it. We're gonna have like back dash space, and the same goes for num dash log, and without increasing the whole key size.
And talking about what will be shown on the keys, so also add proper ISO support.
Yeah.
So based on your computer language or your keyboard, I hope we can detect keyboard language for Windows. I assume so, but we'll need to check it out. Then we can also adjust, make sure you actually see the ISO keys on your keyboard.
Yes, for example, for Belgium keyboard, the numbers and symbols that are on the numbers on your number row are actually swapped around. So you need to do shift to get the number, and without a shift you just get, for example, the exclamation mark. And so for example, I think for UK keyboards there's like a pound sign on the 4, and on German keyboards there's then again a euro sign and all those crazy stuff. And so now we'll also include the proper we were thinking about icons, like also including like the icons on the, for example, on the return key have like a little arrow with the hook on it, or backspace also have an arrow back. And we saw another program that sort of did a similar thing, but then it sort of got confusing. Is it like left arrow or is it backspace? Like where's the
because you don't have the size indicator anymore.
So I mean, the idea is nice to have icons, and I think icons are even stronger than text, but it's not really user friendly because some icons overlap, or there's just not really a difference within the icons. And then the symbol for control key, for example, is horrible, like the actual keyboard ISO symbol standardization, whatever it is. And that's like a really horrible icon. And in that tool we checked out, they just wrote down Control and Alt, but have their shift like with a arrow up, and it was pretty confusing. Even though we're keyboard guys, it was still confusing.
It's a question. Will there be a way to edit key mappings via an API? We're not planning to have one on release, but we're open to suggestions. So do you have a use case where you would really want to have an API? And then I'll ask, would that change how DKS works? This is this is something we still need to figure out. like if you have the key U on DKS and you swap U and J in the function layer, which you need to press J in the DKS for it to work. So right now you assign DKS on a key and not necessarily on a, wait, how do I say it? Let's say on the key position. You assign DKS on your key position. But then, so I think DKS we can just keep the same.
Don't think it will be an issue because the DKS is within your analog profiles, and this is just a digital profile option.
Yeah, but if you, let's say you make a DKS and you bind it to Q, and then you go to your mapping and then you change that Q to a W. Let's say a weird case, right? And then in your DKS settings, will you see a Q or will you see a W? And which key do you press to activate your DKS? So I think, so how it will work out of the box, let's say, is just, it will just stay on that Q key on that particular key position you initially set. And then in your DKS settings, it will display a W instead of the Q because that's what you changed it to.
Yeah.
And I guess that also makes sense to have it that way. Because otherwise, like, what's going to happen if you bound it, let's say you bound it to left control and then you remove left control, like, does your DKS also go away then? No, I think it should just stay at that particular key.
Sure.
Yeah, but it's one of the things you definitely have to keep in mind. Yeah. Secure memory, scarce commodity. What kind of memory does it use? It's very scarce because we use the internal EEPROM of our MCU, of our microcontroller in the keyboard. So it's limited to about 2 kilobytes. Yeah. And I think so right now the biggest memory usage we have is for the RGB profiles, which takes about 30 to 40%. Let me think. We have 100 keys, 2 bytes per key. So yeah, that takes about 40 to 50%. That's the biggest, biggest chunk. Hey guys, are you finally going to fix RGB effects for at least to look decent and have no bugs? By the way, I'm asking this for the 3rd time on stream. I think if we don't really have like any, we don't have like any timeline for like any new effects or like really improving the effects. But if you have like any bugs, like you press this key and it doesn't work or something, then definitely let us know because those we'll definitely want to fix.
Yeah.
So if you want to, I think if you have like a certain problem you run into, then the easiest way is to just like make a quick video and shoot us an email so that we can take a look. So here, okay. Wait a minute.
Hupsakee. It would be cool if you could add custom keys and remapping. I mean, yeah, that's exactly the thing that will happen with the remapping. That you can have also the weird and obscure keys.
Hey Daryl, what's up?
If you will make custom key and keyboard, could you put print screen, home, page up, page down to the left side? Yeah, you could. So you can, let's imagine that here's the print screen key and you want it on your escape key. You just, in this case, you can drag it towards there and these two positions will swap. It's that easy.
What do you miss? You missed a lot.
You missed everything.
Yeah. Talk about full programmability. It's about time. It is, yeah, it is.
By editing the keys via API, you could make your own hotkeys without sending keystrokes to the current active window by disabling the key.
I'm trying to figure out. Editing keys, you make your own hotkeys without sending the keystrokes to the currently active window by disabling the key. So when a window gets active, let's say, so when a certain window becomes active, you disable the key, and what would that? So how would you still use that key for a hotkey?
Also,
or is
you
it like,
have,
oh, you
I
can use
think,
it?
different layouts for different programs. So let's say he likes to type in Word on
Right.
Dvorak, he wants to keep Dvorak, but for video editing he just wants to have a QWERTY layout, for example. Or coding wise, you want to have different things to make it automatically swap. I mean, that's pretty.
Yeah, I guess so. Or maybe you want, certain like, especially like your second layer. I can imagine that you want to be able to sort of custom tailor that to the application.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that can be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Who's this? Just saying this nicely, but it's about damn time. Who's that? Never heard of him or her.
Moderator?
Don't know.
So I think so what are the main challenges you have right now?
The main challenges we have? Challenges?
Yeah.
Well, I think we have a clear idea how all the interactions work. So for example, if you take something from the region here, from where the characters actually are, all the characters, and you drag it towards the keyboard, it sort of overwrites it. But let's say you drag it to the storage axis, there it copies, and if you do stuff within this keyboard view, so swap characters around, they will actually swap position and don't override. And that's like a general interaction we came up with, and in theory it sounds nice, and that's what the first version will going to be and include, and then we just can test if it actually makes sense and is logical. And the same goes for most of the interactions and how the whole layout is. But I think at the point where we are not really stuck on is how we're going to name these character groups, so to say. I mean, alpha characters like a bad name, but
how do you characterize?
Yeah, we saw an application that called them core characters, which sort of makes sense, but it's still like not really there. General also felt really weird. Most use, or are you just gonna name them letters and have numbers and special characters, modifier keys, compose keys? There are even compose keys, whatever it is.
It gets pretty tricky because if you do alpha, right, and then it's like, okay, where do your numbers go? And then it's like, okay, let's say you have number keys, but then you get like your numbers that are like your the one on top of your keyboard, and also the one on your keypad, the one on your numpad.
Mm-hmm.
And those you don't really want to mix up, because it's very crucial that you get if you want to be able to do your exclamation point, you want to be able to do your shift 1, right? So if you get the keypad there, then it might be very confusing. So that also needs to have like very clear separation.
Yeah, indeed.
Are you going to allow binding number keys on the Wooting 1? No. No, that's definitely one of the core things for Wooting on owners to finally be able to do that.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
I think it will also like be a custom preset we talked about, because we will have different presets.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, it would be really cool to add the numbers to your let's say in this area here on your Wooting 1, but also where you can have dedicated keys for your analog profile 1, analog profile 2, and analog profile 3, and that should also be a option in that case for the Wooting 1 users. Well, in fact, there are already dedicated. Well, no, yes and no. Yeah, it's it's pretty cool.
Oh, like that.
But the thing, Jeroen.
So Tango, wait, let me just. So Tango was said about control the voice meter while it's in the background, so you can press the Fn key, enable a second layer on the keypad for controlling the volume. So the second layer we already have. So we'll already have like a main and function layer, let's say. So essentially, you'll already be able to do that. So what you could do, for example, is to take one of the lesser used keys and just put it on your function layer. Like, let's say we enable F1 all the way to F24, because those are like actually part of the standard for some reason. Then you could, on your second layer, you could put like an F13, on the one you want to control the volume by, and then I guess you could connect it to voice meter. Is that application? I'm not sure, but then you could make that the toggle over the volume with your voice meter or whatever program you want to use. So I think that should already be possible out of the box.
True.
Yeah. Sorry, what did you say?
Well, it's something we not discussed, but we talked about it lightly, or I think I just said it because we saw it somewhere else. What about mouse keys? Can we add mouse keys to this whole thing? Left click, right click. I mean,
the main issue I have is that we'll need another interface for mouse interaction. And then I think if we want to do mouse interaction, then we'll probably also want to do analog mouse interaction. And then if we want to do analog mouse interaction, then we also probably need to do that well. So I think, if you do mouse, you don't want to do just buttons, I think.
Well, don't you already have it somewhere on Windows where you can do like something with numpad and move your cursor around?
I'm not sure. If you can just map it to your mouse or keyboard or something like that. Yeah, but then I think the main gripe I have is to just, if we want to do mouse, we need to have another USB interface.
Damn.
Which is not a big problem, I guess. Yeah, that's something we can consider.
Even more interfaces.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just that Windows gets confused sometimes. And it might get even more confused when we also add the mouse. Yeah. So release, we hope we can do it in alpha at the end of the month. That's the goal.
That's the goal.
Yeah. So let's talk about function keys. Well, not function keys, but I guess you could call it function keys. So what kind of extra function keys should we have? So right now we have, let's say the official ones, which is like the skip the track and the pause and resume.
Mm-hmm.
I think in chat we already talked about the calculator one. And the other keys that people have been using is like, oh, I had this on my laptop and this was like the most useful thing ever, and I want that back on the keyboard. That's kind of stuff we're looking for. Well, and then also, like, what about more customized function for your Wooting keyboard? Like, oh, I want a function that can change
this RGB effect.
Oh yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, like RGB effect control, something like that.
RGB effect control would be cool.
Give us some ideas
through your RGB effects. And of course, I need a dedicated key to open my mail program, Windows Explorer, Internet Explorer. What else is
Internet
there?
Explorer.
I want to restart my computer with a keyboard key. Or shut down. That's actually pretty useful, to be honest. Because it saves you it saves you a few clicks. Let's say I want to shut down my PC now. I need to click once, twice, 3 times. I need to click 3 times.
3 times.
Or I can use one keyboard key. Poof. That would be even better, right?
Yep.
I would love to be able to control Wooting through PowerShell scripting. Yeah, Jeroen. Why is that a thing?
Yeah, I think I mean the thing with the API is that it will be nice to have, but then it's not a must. There are just too many other things that are higher on the list right now. Yeah.
Sleep mode, hibernation.
But then it's like it would be really, really cool to have, but then it's just a lot of work to implement and maintain.
Especially maintain and also educate people about it, because I think if you just release it very raw and you don't have like proper documentation for it, some people will probably figure it out, but just that's only a small portion, and then you're making a insane function that will take a lot of time for maybe 5 users.
Yeah, sadly, yes.
And then, I mean, is it worth it? Sure. It's always worth it to make something for at least one Wooting customer, but makes that then a high point on our priority list. No. A button to open the Wooting live stream. Oh, how sick would it be if you have an internal timer and every bi-weekly Friday your keyboard flashes and then you need to press a key. It's like, live stream. Bam.
Yeah, that is a good one. Make turn off, on off for keyboard lighting.
Oh yeah. Well,
that's today too. That's very good. I think that's a very good idea to have. That's very nice. Like some new. I guess in general, just some added controls for your RGB.
Like where you can change the speed, for example, of an effect.
Yeah. What are priority tasks right now? The lack of keyboard and poor programmability. That's the main priority. And then I guess next would be profile rework. And then next will probably be game detection. And then yes, I think that's what I can.
Game detection would actually, for me, the most convenient thing, to be honest, and also the most logical thing, and I think for a lot of users, because it would be very cool if I never set up a profile for Grand Theft Auto, but I have some sort of a dynamic profile on one of my analog profiles, and then I open Grand Theft Auto and poof, it automatically loads the best profile for Grand Theft Auto. That would be pretty sick. Yeah, that would be really sick. And another priority what you didn't mention is that we have all these blank space here next to this keyboard, and those are perfect to run some Google ads. So we can even make more money here. Oh my god, that would be terrible. Yeah, okay. I don't want to talk about ads too much. I've been noticing, especially on news websites, they get so desperate for any kind of ad revenue. And especially on mobile, like they just butcher the whole experience. Like they have like the bar on the top and the bar on the bottom, and then you scroll down and it's full page ad appears, and it rips apart your content. And okay, it's all right. Okay, I was just thinking about the introduction screen, right? I mean, besides that, we need to add more guides towards it and update the fact of the day. I mean, it's nice, but we can also put like, hey, we now sell a wrist rest here. Buy it today in the store. And I thought like, hey, that's very interesting, because then you can target actually active Wooting users who maybe benefit from a wrist rest. Yeah, but then it feels way too greedy. It's like, oh my god, what? Ads in your own program? It's that it doesn't even feel as an announcement, right? But it is a very great opportunity to inform new users of stuff. Yes, I think it's a good idea. I mean, it really depends on what it is, right? I assume that people will also be interested in learning that, hey, there's this new product we have, right? I assume so. It's not like we'll just put a random ad there random flashing ad there every time. I guess it's about this balance there. Yeah. It's possible to make analog scrolling on pages with the arrow keys. Yes. Key repeating. Brr. Hey, Darren, what's up? You probably missed a lot. Yes, you did. All the Daryls and Darrens always miss a lot. Yeah. For a hand rest, I'm using a towel. Oh yeah, then you would definitely want to upgrade to something we'll have coming up very, very soon. I really want to show the pictures from Kevin. They're just. Oh yeah, we can share that. Okay, let me gather them. So Kevin made some pictures about the wrist rest that we'll all share on social media, but I felt like, wow, these are the best. Wow. Much better than a towel. Much better than a towel. I mean, he's not actually even showing the wrist rest as an actual wrist rest. Funny enough. Ploop, 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 ploop. Ploop, ploop. Jeroen, keep talking. I'm almost there. I'm thinking about the analog scrolling, like how to implement that. I guess maybe we could do some like spam send your arrow functions to scroll, like at a certain scroll speed. I'm not sure. Okay. I have found pictures.
Didn't Windows at one point even support like your joystick, using your joystick for scrolling?
I mean,
sure.
I mean, you can do it with a Steam controller.
Yeah, but how does the Steam controller do it?
I don't know. Can you repeat?
So,
okay, let's.
I guess so.
Let's go to the wrist rest. So this wrist rest will be available in December, and probably most of you know because it's the only thing we talked about in the last few live streams. And here's like a blue version of it, and the material is silicone, and it's very cool how flexible and durable it is. So you can twist it and bend it, and it will never lose its shape, and you can fold it, smack it, slap it, spank with it. Yeah, you can be really rough with it, and it still remains its shape.
Yeah, I think the most impressive thing. The rest, I love it. I think the most impressive thing is that you can just bend it all around, and then it will perfectly go back into shape, and there's no like permanent. There's no permanent bending or something at all.
Oh my god! No, never mind. It with the Cairo pattern on the background, on the back of the wrist rest, it looks like a piece of art. To be honest.
Yeah, especially like the first one you showed. Which one is it? Because it really like flows. No. The first one. The Waker probably kind of.
Super twist. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. It's like this very nice the DNA string kind of idea. Kevin is so good at making pictures. I think he should just make product pictures all day.
He has a good feeling for it, right? I think
his piece of art which is good for it.
Yeah. Wrist rest.
Yeah. But then the best thing about this wrist rest is how comfortable it is.
Oh, I thought you.
I'm 100% sure when people get it and they feel it and you feel the material. Oh, it's so nice. It's a very, very different experience than any other wrist rest. Any other wrist rest, they suck. They will suck if you've used this. I'm very confident about that, and I'm also very, very happy we have a wrist rest like this where I can actually say that because we used a ton of different ones and we tried a lot of different samples, and they all and most wrist rests really, really suck.
Oh, and of course the packaging. That's also a thing I love, where you can tear it open.
Oh yeah, that one. Is it like supposed to be like some sort of secret?
No.
Oh yes.
And
feels good.
Like, snap it open. It's yes.
Oh yes. How did he take the picture? There are two hands.
He's using another desk for his phone as a desk stand.
I think he's using his lamp, right, or something.
No. He's using another desk or something on it. I think he.
Really?
He sort of spoiled the secret.
Climaxing already, yeah.
Oh no! Oh yeah, desk lamp as a phone stand. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Great stuff. I mean, cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it before, and I'm gonna say it again. Why I'm really excited for the wrist rest is it will be a product that once it's available and we start selling it, we can actually ship it directly, so we don't have a long pre-order phase or a long wait time.
Yeah, it's the whole wrist rest. Well, the whole wrist rest project, as soon as Kevin got on board, because he's been responsible for the wrist rest. Without him, we couldn't have done it. But then with him, just pushing the product forward, it's been such a smooth process, because it's like if you compare this to making an analog keyboard, it's like whoa, it's not comparable.
It sounds weird, but it's a very, of course, has its own challenges, but it's a very easy product to make and produce and start selling it, because there aren't that many moving parts. You just need a good design, find the great materials, make packaging, and then ship it, instead of the tests and regulations and blah 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 and blah 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 blah. And yes,
there's no firmware in wrist rest.
Yeah, also that. And yes, there will be two sizes. One will fit the Wooting 1 and the other one will fit the Wooting 2. And Calder's tested them on different keyboards, I guess. And with most 10 keyless keyboards or full size keyboards, it felt really nice and comfortable to even use on other keyboards besides a Wooting keyboard.
Yeah, so we definitely also made it with other keyboards in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there'll also be 2 colors, right?
I don't know.
Oh, is that a secret?
No, I really don't know.
Is it decided? I don't know. Okay,
I don't know either.
I think there will be like a black one and like a very dark blue one, like the 289C Pantone.
Calder's favorite color.
It is. Oh, you don't like it, right? Have you seen it?
Well, I mean, I don't mind having the color, but Calder wants to slap it on everything.
Yeah.
It's also, Kevin and I, we even joke about it. It's like when we need to come up with a color for packaging, whatever. Oh, Calder really wants navy blue stuff.
Navy blue, just navy blue everything.
Everything navy blue.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm also wearing a navy blue sweater. Calder primed me too much.
Oh yeah. But is it matching with the Pantone though? Otherwise, you need it.
We can check it. We can find it out. No
gossiping
problem.
about Calder, huh? Yeah, this is the gossiping stream.
Yes. If Calder's there, we're gonna do a rant, and if Calder isn't here, we're gonna gossip.
Yeah, exactly. That's Wooting stream.
Well,
that's mad.
Well, it's pretty close, right, Calder? Let me see the light. Oh, I think it actually is the color.
Different.
Can't complain here.
Oh, that's actually very close.
Yeah. Sick.
I think with navy blue, it's always so interesting that if you just see the sweater, you're always like, oh, this is looks more like black. But then you actually put colors next to it, and it's like, no, it's definitely blue.
True. So I mean, what's next? I don't want to gossip the whole stream about Calder. And what a great leader he is. What a great leader Calder is.
Great leader. The greatest leader. Somebody's always saying, Cart, you also missed everything.
Everybody missed everything. Now the viewers start popping in when we round up the live stream. Nice. Didn't expect anything else.
So, okay, just a quick recap. We talked about a feature we're working on, which is full programmability. And here, can you just pop up design real quick?
Yes.
Just get a quick. So we're actually so we made this design and we're working on implementing it right now. And so earlier in the stream, you'll just have to look back a little bit, like maybe 30 minutes ago. We talked about, okay, this is the design. What is it going to work like? What it's going to be like? We talked a lot about like the interactions and what kind of keys we want where. And it will be like a very easy to use, very nice drag and drop that actually makes sense, and no like big drop downs where you have to search through for this one key you can't find. Then we'll also have proper presets, so even if you just want to quickly swap, you can do that. And all saved on the keyboard as always. So I think that will be very, very cool. So we're working on it right now. So the let's say the groundwork is almost done, and we're working on the first implementation with utility now. And we're hoping to be able to do an alpha release at the end of the month.
Yeah.
That's the goal we're aiming for right now.
Exactly.
Just out of curiosity, if there was a demand for a very specific key, is a spider key, how many keys or roughly would you need to sell to make the effort pay off? Like a separate keycap? Then that will probably. I think the main issue is just where do you produce a single keycap, and then. But I would just say rough estimate probably 100, depending on the price you can sell it for. Yeah.
It's so difficult to give an answer to it, because what kind of quality keycaps do you want, and on what position do you want the keycap to be? So let's say you want to have it on your what you call it, the first row, like the escape row. The shape is the same as your numbers row all the way towards your numpad, right? Like those two whole rows. And let's say you want to use an escape key, then you can use all those keys. So then you can just, let's say you want to make it ABS keycaps and print something on it. Then with one layout you actually have, I don't know, what is it? 20 to 30 keycaps already. And let's say there's a minimum order quantity of 500, then you actually have, well, 500 times 30, so many keycaps then you have to sell. And ABS, of course, a little bit of cheaper quality, and I don't think you want to sell novelty keycaps ABS quality wise, well, at least the laser engraved ABS quality. But doing it like as die subbed or a double shot PBT keycap, then the story changes a bit, but still you probably will have a steep starting MOQ and things, so yeah. But I think in the future we'll have some cool keycaps.
Yeah.
Wink wink. And some novelty keycaps. Working on it.
Yeah, we'll have novelty keycaps. A lot of them.
Really, a lot of them, right? Yeah. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, I think should we talk about it, or is it a surprise?
I think it's too soon to talk about it. It's too soon. Pudding.
Too soon.
Pudding,
no.
I think the it's not pudding actually. The whole market definition of pudding keycaps. I think we call them pudding keycaps, but I think most manufacturers call them milk keycaps, right?
Really?
Yeah.
I thought everybody just calls them pudding.
No, Calder calls pudding.
Really?
Yeah. I think the manufacturer, we checked them, they call it pudding, but most other manufacturers that sell them, like on Banggood or Alibaba, it's always milk keycaps.
Huh. Okay.
I mean,
if you
have
it's definitely pretty. Yeah.
Well, if you have a really cool idea for a custom keycaps, novelty keycaps, I mean, just let us know, and we can always. We have a sort of a general idea what people are interested in, because we get tons of emails every day of people asking stuff, and maybe your idea is already viable. And I don't know, if you have a cool idea for a set or a single keycap, just let us know, and we will see what we can do with it.
Very, very, very true. Yeah, I think keycaps will be like I think after no, that will not be the next big frontier. That will be something else. Sure. Okay. On the Wooting store, you can use Ideal, right?
Yeah. Ideal. I'm I also have a question for everyone. Let's say we would start selling lubricant, springs, stabilizers, I don't know, keyboard cleaning sets, like more keyboard specific products, and to maintain your keyboard or customize your keyboard even more. Who would actually buy it? Is there any of you guys in the chat that would actually buy lubricant for your keycaps or switches? If you would sell it against springs for a better price.
Or O-rings.
Or O-rings. Because we were looking around a while back, seeing at what kind of supplies there are here in Europe, or web shops or shops that actually sell springs, lubricant, O-rings to end users. All those things are like way too overpriced. It's like insane. And I think we sort of had a deal like, hey, maybe we can add these things to our web shop against a fair price compared to everybody else, and still make a shit ton of money on it. But then if nobody buys it, it has no use. Extend life without buy products of that kind. Yeah, well, it's not really to extend the life of your Wooting, it's more to enhance the life of your Wooting.
Yeah, I guess keyword cleaning, maintenance.
Because, like example, I was looking
more heavier springs.
I was looking, for example, at canned air. Like, canned air is something really useful to clean your Wooting keyboard, and a very easy thing to do. And you can probably buy it at most hardware stores, right, in your local area. But I think, let's say, if we would sell it on a web shop, canned air, people are more eager to buy it. Yeah, because
and I think also this is a good point where Tango says, if price good, I'm up for it because they're guaranteed to work, right? Like we're going to test them with the. We're going to make 100% sure that they work perfectly with the Wooting keyboards, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a very nice idea to have.
Lubricant would supplement the wrist rest quite well.
That's good.
Nice. Well, now we need to sell like big bottles of lubricant, right?
Yeah. Hand pump.
Okay.
Oh, silencing kit, yeah.
Silencing kit, yeah. Yeah, those are all cool things.
Yeah.
Just in general, just sell more products on a Wooting store is, I guess, a good thing. Not even to, of course, in the end, if we sell more on our web shop, even if it's different product, we will earn more money. But I think the great thing is because like selling stuff on our web shop, besides keyboard, isn't like our core business where we get the main income. We can sell it for a more decent price compared to competitors.
Yeah. Still the market for a good cover for the keyboard. What about the
default one? The
plastic cover, yeah. That's one. Alright. See you later, Lolek.
This is the best cover there is, right? Well, not this one, because this one sort of got too hot, got scrolled over, but there isn't any better disc cover.
And one looks empty, yeah. Yeah, it would be very nice to have more things on the store, more things available. And also just more things to do with your keyboard.
More things to do.
More things to do and try. It is not a great cover. Oh.
Great cover. I mean, then you need to buy what you have like in all the mechanic repair shops, right? The little plastic crappy dust cover that sort of colors and breaks and... How insane would it be to sell epoxy on the web shop and call it a keyboard sealer kit where you can make your keyboard waterproof?
I mean, you could do it for the silencing that the one guy did, but I'm not really sure if we want to sell those kind of products.
No.
We don't want to sell chemicals.
Okay, well, at least I know enough now. Anything else? Somebody wants to know?
Pretty good reception in general. Yeah.
Somebody has a question about anything? We're still here for a little bit.
All the items to get people sucked into the mechanic keyboard realm. Exactly. Suck everybody in.
I mean, I was... No, never mind.
You were what?
Nah, I was
never
just...
mind.
No, it's... like, this is like a very good example, right? Let me see if I still have it.
What is?
So this is something you could buy, right? This little flask of lubricant. And this is like 1 milliliter of lubricant. Like, I think this is even the most popular lubricant for mechanical keyboards and switches in general. 1 milliliter. It's not even enough to lube a whole full-size keyboard, because that would require around 3 or 5 milliliters depending on how generous you are with it. But this just costs like €6 without shipping. It's insane, eh?
Where's Calder? Calder is
Taiwan.
testing lubricant.
Calder's testing the lubricant and the wrist rest together. No, Calder is not here to stream. I think he deserved his evening off.
I hope he's spending time with Yenny. Yeah, me too.
I hope as well. He probably is. He's already forgotten about us.
Yeah. No, he's probably on Slack right now. Where there's yeah.
Dildo spank boards.
Oh, but the wrist rest is gonna be the wrist rest and programmability. That's I think there's 2. Very, 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 very good things.
Yeah, well, I think my top 3 is now currently Lec Edition, because the full range analog is like the best there is. The wrist rest because of being a wrist rest, and then the full programmability. That's like my top 3.
But they're also like, all 3 is like, it's things that have been like not necessarily like pushing for so long, but it's kind of like been in the Wooting story for so long. Let's say, like the whole wrist stress idea, or the whole like a switch, and also the full programmability, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it really feels like, well, we're actually tackling these very important topics that have been going on for a long time.
True.
This is I'm very, very excited about. And I think also, I mean, a big part is also because of Kevin now, that we can do more. Yeah, we can. I think that's the thing. Right now, we're just able to do more because basically we have a bit more money to spend on also outsourcing different things, and also hiring somebody like Kevin, which we just couldn't afford before. And it frees us up to do to just do a little bit more. That's just a very, very good feeling to have.
It's true, but do you know, I'm sort of afraid for the full programmability. Once we have launched it, it will be the same as direct input support. Because I can remember when we were making the direct input support, it was like a big thing, and it felt like everybody was asking for it daily.
That was only for Calder.
And it felt so good to work on it, and then we launched it, and I never heard, I think one girl talked about it for Final Fantasy XIV, that something was up, but I never heard anything about direct input again.
This is not the same.
It felt like a big letdown.
Yeah. I mean, even just for the people that just want to disable caps lock, or disable Windows key, or have a better control of disabling Windows key, or just changing their function keys, that already makes it worth it. And I think there's a very, very big percentage of people that's going to at least want to change like their function key or something like that. And of course, I mean, nobody's gonna. I don't think a lot of people are going to like completely botch out their whole layout. But I think that's also not the most important thing. The most important thing, and that's also what we do in our design, is that it's just very easy to just change a few keys to what you want, and that's it. And as long as that's possible, then I think we'll have a good future. Yeah. But then still.
True. Can't wait for it to release. Because besides like the whole functionality, I think it's also fun to play with. Like when the RGB lights came out and we had like the individual RGB and the whole utility and everything and how it worked, it felt great to play with it. And the same went for DKS. It's also fun just to play and interact with it, in my opinion.
Yeah, very, very much so. Yeah.
Okay, enough about dildos and porns and lubricant and sexy. We should have gone into the adult toy business. Are the Wooting
multi-switches the same nowadays? Yes, they are. Yeah, they are.
Yes. I think we're done, right?
Yeah. Just want to talk about Death Stranding.
Oh, Death Stranding. Oh. I was actually thinking about going home after this live stream. Just now, I have a PS4 at home. Just go to the store, buy Death Stranding and play it. But then again, I know, because I saw a few reviews, that not everybody's going to like the game. But I know I'm going to like the game. So I'm just going to wait for like 2 weeks. And then I go to a second-hand store and it's probably overfilled with the game. Because this game isn't for everyone.
Hate it.
I think this game isn't just for everyone.
I think a lot of people. Yeah.
So I think I can get it a lot cheaper.
Recap stream? I already did a recap 10 minutes ago.
Full programmability, wrist stress is cool.
Recap. Pay attention, Darren. Pay attention.
Okay.
This is for you.
Full programmability. We call it. Oh my god! Oh, so much work. Okay, full programmability is coming.
Walking simulator, yeah. It's a food panda or a food delivery simulator.
Uber Eats. That's what Kevin called it. I liked it.
Uber Eats, yeah.
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats.
But then with tremendous amount of cutscenes and great actors in it, and probably way too intense and great storytelling with way too many layers in it that it gets confusing. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm a big Hideo Kojima fan, but okay. So full programmability is coming. We call it remapping. It will have a very user-friendly drag and drop function, and you can change your keyboard layout to whatever you want in a normal layer and a function layer, or a layer 1 or layer 2, whatever you want to name it. And it will be, we're aiming to have it in a beta or alpha state by the end of this month, so people can play around with it and experiment with it. We talked a little bit about wrist rest, how cool and indestructible it's going to be, and it will probably be available in December somewhere. And once we have it available, there won't be a long pre-order time, because it will be, well, because we have it in stock then, actual on location. And something about lube and wrist rest and naughty stuff. I think that's the whole stream.
Yeah, I think we talked about the extra products, let's say, like the springs, O-rings.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, because we just think like all these little parts are very unfair priced, at least here in Europe, if you want to get them. They're just too expensive for what you actually get. Yeah. And all the products we will add in the future to our store will be to either probably enhance the Wooting experience, or even increase the life longevity of the product. Let's say we would sell cleaning kits and teach proper how to actually if we teach users how to actually proper clean their keyboard in a good way, it will also help to the long-term durability of the keyboard. Yeah, that's it. Bye.
Bye. Yeah. Anybody final questions? Now's the time.
Now's the time. 1 minute final questions.
Stream. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for the laughs. I really
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Now I'm going to enter the Diablo 4 waiting room.
Oh, Diablo 4.
Okay.
I'm also way too excited for Diablo 4.
Guys. I'm not like well, I don't know. I enjoyed. I'm not like one of those old school Diablo players, but I did enjoy Diablo 3 in a bit. I just think Diablo is a very fun game to play with more people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if the game were released today, I would probably play it right now.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh, more source like USB-C for working one. Yes, we're also I think working on that one. But the thing with the springs and O-rings and the lube is that we might be able to source it more locally, especially in Europe, and that will just make the whole process of selling it a lot easier. Yeah, so we don't have to get it from China, basically.
Yeah, but I think like we last week we also talked about a USB-C upgrade kit for the Wooting one, and that is of course a possibility we could sell, even though it sort of feels like if you want to sell to users, they need to open the whole keyboard, remove the PCB, change the connector, and all kind of things can happen. So you could sell it to the more advanced users, but it's not like an easy product everybody can use. Like slapping on O-rings on your switches, everybody can do that, right?
Yes.
But I still like
Diablo uses Calder.
Yeah, let's end the stream with Diablo. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a great weekend, and I enjoyed myself. See you in 2 weeks. Bye bye.